And so we're going to start, of course, with the forward by friend of the show, and I can legitimately say that, Eli Ayala, who gives the forward here. So he says at the beginning, tag your it. Again, the joke that you have to make. You have to. It's like referencing First Peter for apologetics. So he said that when Dr. Stein turned to respond to Dr. Bahnsen's transcendental argument for the existence of God, or tag, it quickly became evident that he was in over his head. So this is Eli's kind of interaction, his first take of this debate. And so people nowadays might have come across tag or presuppositionalism other way, but for us old fogies, this is how we first interacted with it. So it's neat that someone so prevalent, who Eli is a great guy, and Revealed Apologetics is his YouTube channel, so you should definitely check him out. He's been working with the Apologia guys a lot more, and his content is always very friendly and very informative, and he really knows his stuff. He has to talk to a bunch of high schoolers, so it really fits my niche of like making sure that I understand, because it's definitely a highbrow level, but he can at least talk to me, so I appreciate that. So instead of directly addressing Dr. Bahnsen's argument, Dr. Stein attempted to refute points that Dr. Bahnsen never made. By the time he finally engaged with what Bahnsen actually presented, it became even clearer that his atheistic perspective stood no chance against the full force of the Christian worldview. So again, a good build-up to why you should pick up this book.
Exactly. So Eli tells us that his first encounter with the debate, after spending, he says, considerable time familiarizing himself with classical apologetics, right? So we're aware of that, the various traditional arguments for the existence of God, right? The cosmological argument and so forth. And so he says, after spending considerable time familiarizing himself with those kinds of classical apologetic arguments, which emphasizes the argument for the existence of God through natural philosophy, he said he was caught completely off guard when he stumbled upon a debate between two individuals he had never heard of before, Dr. Greg Bahnsen and Dr. Gordon Stein. And again, as you mentioned, this is pretty much what we thought as well. Wow. Yeah, this is different, right? And so he says he began listening, and he immediately sensed something strikingly different from every other debate that he encountered. Instead of arguing for the probability, the reasonableness, or high plausibility of God's existence, Bahnsen was arguing for the necessity and absolute certainty of the Christian God. And so this was kind of a different kind of deal, right, that he was striking with regard to Bahnsen.
Yeah, and as we go through Dr. Bahnsen's opening statement, that there does seem to be a few mic drop moments in here that will set the debate up really well for the even bigger ones, that even on the old audio cassettes, you could hear the audience reacting, which is quite an impressive feat there as well.
Yeah.
Well, Eli goes on to say that this approach resonated deeply with his convictions as a Christian, aligning powerfully with the teachings of Scripture. The Scripture doesn't have us say, well, if a God of the Bible exists, this is what we expect to find. So therefore, go tell the nations of this high probability event of Jesus' resurrection. It talks about the truth and God being the only source of truth and the only way that we can go through life and the purpose of life. It answers all the questions that mankind has pondered, and they've only been able to ponder that because, well, the Bible tells us exactly why that's happened. So even within the meta-analysis of it, it offers an explanation. And he goes on to say that, and to top it off, Bahnsen didn't just defend his position, he utterly dismantled his atheist opponent, demonstrating the sheer intellectual force of a Christian worldview. And as we'll get into this, and Bahnsen will mention, Dr. Stein, he wasn't a slouch. This wasn't some hapless college professor who was taken unaware. This was someone who put aside his initial pedigree and went full force through defending atheism. So this was something of a feat to do. As Eli began reading Bahnsen's books and sifting through his many recorded lectures, he became increasingly convinced that presuppositional apologetics was not only the most powerful method of defending faith, it was the most biblical. And I will mention Faith Has Its Reasons book that we covered before, breaks down all these ones. So if you're looking for more complete walkthrough of things like classical apologetics, evidential apologetics, there's fideism, presuppositional apologetics, and then a fifth one that kind of tries to combine all those things. That's the book I would recommend for you. caveofthecross.com, middle of the page, the book's right there.
All right. So what's the value of the book? Well, Eli suggests that this book is worth your time because it not only showcases the practical and applicational outworking of the presuppositionalist apologetic method in a real debate setting, but it also deepens our understanding of its application. And so through insightful commentary, this particular book that we're going to be looking at, Eli tells us, walks the reader through the debate, unpacking key moments and providing further analysis that will undoubtedly broaden and strengthen one's ability to defend the faith biblically. So he is highly recommending that we work our way through this book. And thank you very much, Lord willing, as we go, we will work our way through this book.